throughout all these cases that we've looked at and scans that we've taken, the other really interesting thing that we've done when we've taken a look back at our data has been able to identify essentially ways to see disease before it's even fully present.
Vinny, welcome to Floor Talk. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
My pleasure. So Vinny, I want to start off by talking about the company. What is Genetesis, and what was the inspiration behind the company?
Genetesis is a health tech, med tech company. We're located in Cincinnati, Ohio. And our mission really is bold and audacious, but it basically is to develop technologies and solutions that help to diagnose cardiac conditions and also generally give an idea of overall heart health in ways that are more precise, accurate, and faster and more efficient than anything else before it. And our origin story kind of happened about 11 years ago when we founded the company, right out of high school, actually, my co-founders and I. We, at the time, were working all as interns in various biomedical research labs. And while we were there, we learned a lot about how the heart works, about how it really is an electrically driven organ that has a circuit that's natural that basically begins to go haywire the second you have the early signs of disease. And we also learned a lot of very interesting tools in the lab that you could use to really analyze these things at a very precise level that didn't really show up in the clinical practice, right? So around the same time, our CEO, his grandfather, had to go through a variety of different types of triages basically and actually tests. But I remember specifically it was like years of testing, years of different surgical procedures, all to really not get a very, very firm response at the end of it, right? Such a mismatch from what we had in the lab where we knew exactly what was going on with the heart versus like in the real life practice, things were so different. So it kind of then became our mission to instead focus on how can we apply technologies that exist out there in the world right now to give laboratory grade insights at the human level, right? Without any kind of invasive procedures or anything like that. And so with that initial fuzzy idea, a bunch of college kids, we basically decided to try and set out and build something for that, right? And so we used this technology called MCG, is something we discovered that could be used basically to really do this thing, affect care in this kind of a way, and eventually, ideally in our vision of the world, right, we hope to basically eliminate preventable heart disease one day.
So you mentioned MCG. Yeah. Tell me about that. What is it?
So MCG is short for magnetocardiography. It is essentially an approach where you are measuring the magnetic output of the heart. So I mentioned before that the heart is driven on electrical impulses, and that electrical circuitry starts to go haywire the second you have some kind of disease or early signs of disease that kind of exists in the heart. So MCG basically uses an array of magnetic sensors that are looking at what the magnetic output of that electrical circuitry is. And that information is very, very rich, both from an information perspective and it's fully lossless. So it's way more insightful than existing medical diagnostics that exist today. And it basically was then the founding principle of how we wanted to actually build the company.
So tell me, what has Genetesis accomplished so far?
As a technology that's almost like a deep tech kind of a product, it's very, very important, obviously, to have the clinical validation behind what we're looking for. And with that, we've been able to, over the past several years, study a variety of different types of conditions across the full gamut of different cardiac diseases, right? So everything from large vessel disease for coronary artery disease, early indications of heart attack, ischemia, and even some conditions that actually have no good non-invasive way to detect right now. And throughout all these cases that we've looked at and scans that we've taken, the other really interesting thing that we've done when we've taken a look back at our data has been able to identify essentially ways to see disease before it's even fully present. So that's really been a lot of what we've been accomplishing. We're at this point now where that specific element of early disease detection has now made its way into a consumer health platform that we have also just launched at the end of last year, that we're now very excited to kind of move forward with into the following year.
So now I understand that you've recently launched CardioFlux, a membership, which allows for anyone to access and use your MCG technology. So what is this product and why has the company chosen to do this given your more traditional medtech start?
So we basically adapted our MCG technology that's been clinically validated into a consumer platform that's non-diagnostic, but still very helpful in understanding what your heart health looks like, generally speaking, and what things you can do to improve it. So the CardioFlux membership product exists in two pieces. The first of which is the CardioFlux score, which essentially is a set of 14 different biomarkers that are used to assess where you are on a variety of different sort of axes for your heart health. So if things are not at the right level for your age, your gender, et cetera, right, these are things that we can identify in the moment and say that if we don't correct these things, you have probably a longer lifetime or a higher lifetime risk of developing disease, right? Meanwhile, the second piece of it really is the membership element, which is the fact that it's not enough to be able to say that you're going to measure this one time and be done. There is value in repeat measurement, and there's value in making changes to improve, whether your goal is to run a marathon or your goal is to just stay disease-free for the rest of your life, right? So a big part of the membership is also ongoing consultation with MCG experts to basically look at your score in context of your lifestyle goals, what you're interested in doing in terms of like your long-term goals as well, and using that to guide a plan for you.
Okay, so finally, Vineet, tell me, what's next for the company in terms of growth?
For us, we really see MCG as this platform that exists in a way that we really feel is going to become the next big imaging and medical revolution, really. So we're very, very keen and excited to really launch the product and get after it this year.
All right, well, Vineet, it's been wonderful to talk with you. Thank you for joining me on Flow Talk.
Thank you so much.